morning, everyone. I'm Sean Lewis.
And I'm Courtney Gousman in for Tanya Francisco. Thanks so much for waking up with us. Bears play the Packers right here at home today.
Yep.
Mike Camernick has the latest on how to dress for the big game.
It'd be nice to kind of get out and get some seafood on a nice cold winterish day today, even though
You're taking me out for lunch, dinner?
I'll take you out anytime.
Hey now, let's do it.
Shh, got it.
Mike, you can come too.
Co-anchor date.
Well, Trayvon Martin's parents are here in Chicago for 2 nights. They spoke here tonight at First United Methodist Church, and they admitted to the audience that the conversation they were having is uncomfortable and difficult because they say their son's death was a direct result of the color of his skin. Good evening, guys. This new museum sits right on the National Mall, right next to the Washington Monument. 400,000 square feet of exhibits, over 6 different levels. It's very much still under construction, and I can tell you today, we tried to get through most of it, but to really appreciate all that it has to offer inside, you can't just do it in one day. It sits just steps from the Washington Monument. The architecture is like nothing you've ever seen. This is the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture. So I'm here at the scene of that shooting, and what's left behind are 3 massive bullet holes through the front window of this dance studio. Now, I just talked to the owner of this studio. He tells me it had nothing to do with the birthday party and the people who were here for that party, but everything to do with a woman who ran here for help trying to get away from her boyfriend. The man is in custody in connection with a fatal shooting outside a McKinley Park Target store. He claims he shot the man because that man tried to rob him. Police raided a home in South Chicago around midnight Thursday, bursting through the front door, guns drawn and demanding some answers. The problem is it was the wrong house.
I just asked Siri where Santa was.
On his iPhone X. You know, this is the guy that keeps up with all the technology. He has the latest and greatest. But Mike is the guy that keeps up with the forecast.
Courtney Gousman is there with more. Hey, Courtney.
Hey, good morning, Sarah and Larry. You know, this series is coming to Chicago for Game 3 tonight. And in light of last week's massacre in Las Vegas, the city of Chicago doing quite a few things to make sure people are safe in this postseason. A lot has changed in the 2 years since I first showed you Woodson's frail shape. The library now has a new look and a new leader. And after being displaced for the past 16 months, community residents are anxious to get back inside.
Bricks was, peeling.
It was like falling. Residents of Chicago's Washington Heights neighborhood can't forget that awful condition of Carter G. Woodson Library. This regional library that served $25,000 a month reduced to bolts, screws, and mesh, literally holding this brick building together. The leaky roof causing problems inside, and then there was the scaffolding that surrounded the building to protect pedestrians from anything that might fall. The history of this building at 95th and Halsted runs deep. The library houses a historic collection of original manuscripts, documents, and pictures centered around African American culture, named after Chicago's first black head librarian, Vivian G. Harsh. The library itself named after the historian who helped create Black History Month, Carter G. Woodson. Woodson Library may have been built in 1975, but it endured decades of neglect.
Sometimes in marginalized communities, there are conditions that you notice, and then for a while you say, that's not right. And then for a while, nothing ever happens to remedy that situation.
For more than 14 years, that scaffolding sat around a library with no work being done. Put in place around 2002 during the Daley administration. This is how things looked in February of 2016 when WGN News shined a light on the situation. Melvin Thompson with the Andaleo Institute, a community improvement group under Trinity United Church of Christ, was one of several who for years pushed the Chicago Public Library to act.
Here's the thing. Libraries across the city were being either built new or restored.
What's being reviewed?
It got a bit contentious from time to time. We had a number of town hall meetings where, voices got raised.
Library leaders touted a massive improvement project slated for Woodson, but years went by with no action. Until November of 2016, the day after the presidential election. This library closed its doors to the public for a $9 million renovation project. And this is how Woodson looks now.
I'm in awe. I'm in awe.
It's beautiful. It looks like a beautiful downtown.
This is actually my favorite feature right here. And just seeing it above the entrance and knowing that when people walk through this door, that they're going to think of Carter G. Woodson is just so exciting as a librarian.
Black history.
Yes, the father of Black history.
Linda Scope is the newly appointed director of Woodson. She walked me through the many changes. And I see the brick is gone.
Yes,
that
yes.
brick that was crumbling for so long is gone.
It's actually very durable material as well. So that was one of the issues with the prior material, and now this material is going to be durable. So we anticipate this lasting for a very, 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 very long time.
Woodson now has dozens of new windows, a new roof, and a resurfaced parking lot with more spaces.
You'll see our new floor. This is terrazzo flooring. So this is nice and bright.
Inside, architects shed the dark stone flooring to help brighten up this foyer. There's also a new modern circulation desk, 2 new study rooms, brighter auditorium, new carpeting, more than 160 new computers, thousands of new books, and even a 3D printer. All these changes made courtesy of a state grant.
The improvements to the core part of the building, which we think brings this regional library up to the standards that will make us proud.
For the first time since working on this story, Brian Bannon, the commissioner of the Chicago Public Library, agreed to sit down with me to talk about Woodson's trials turned to triumph.
It was crumbling for a long time, and I'm sure you're very familiar with the condition of the old state of this library.
Yeah.
Why did it take so long to get things done here?
I think it was a combination of the city not having funding. A lot of that stuff predates my tenure. When I became commissioner, almost 6 years ago, we prioritized this as a project.
After 16 months of being without their home library, this community is truly excited about this something almost new. Even little Christiana Cornelius, her father tells me his daughter has been anxiously waiting to get back in here.
She likes going over there playing and, be reading her the books and stuff like that.
Because we didn't went here for a while.
Yeah, you haven't been here in a while, right? Do you kind of miss it?
Yes.
Even the people that are driving by when I leave will make comments and say, thank you, I'm so glad that the outside has been redone.
The anticipation is mounting. I get a call, a text, or an email every single day about how excited the community is. So we're ecstatic about it.
Attendance at Woodson is expected to see a 10 to 30% surge thanks to this renovation. There are a variety of new programs being implemented, including one for dementia patients and their caregivers. There's also a jam-packed schedule to celebrate Black History Month for the rest of February. That grand reopening celebration at Woodson is this Saturday, the 17th, beginning at 9 in the morning, and it runs all day. Courtney Gousman, WGN News.